All right, lean in close, you lot, because if there's one song that can make even the most tone-deaf accountant belt out like they're channeling the gods of soul, it's Aretha Franklin's Respect. You know it, the one where she spells out her demands like a sassy schoolteacher with a side of thunder. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. Hell, even if you're pretending you've never hummed it in the shower, lying to yourself is just disrespectful. This track isn't just a bop. It's a sonic slap that turned the world on its head back in the 60s. And it's still echoing through every empowerment playlist, every civil rights rally, and probably your grandma's ringtone. But buckle up, because we're not just skimming the surface here. Oh no, we're diving deep into the gritty guts of how this anthem was born, why it packs such a punch, and the wild ripples it sent crashing through culture. Think of me as your cheeky tour guide through soul history, part historian, part heckler, with a dash of that Deadpool vibe where I break the fourth wall just to roast myself. And yeah, there'll be puns. Terrible ones. Because if we're talking respect, we gotta respect the art of a good groaner. Let's kick this off with the spark that lit the fuse. Picture this. It's 1965, and Otis Redding, yeah, the king of stacked soul, the guy with a voice like gravel soaked in whiskey, is scribbling down respect for his album Otis Blue. But hold on, this wasn't some divine inspiration from the muse of Motown. Nope, Otis pinched the idea from a drummer named Speedo Sims, who brought it to him like a half-baked pie. Speedo wanted to record it with his band, the Singing Demons, but it flopped harder than a lead balloon in the studio. So Otis, being the opportunist with pipes of gold, tweaks it, speeds it up, and makes it his own. The original lyrics? Pure macho plea from a hard-working dude begging his lady for a little appreciation when he drags his tired ass home. What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect when I come home. It's like the 60s version of Honey, I'm Home, where's my beer and back rub? Otis belts it out with that raw, desperate energy, hitting number 35 on the charts. Not bad, but not world-shaking. Fun fact, Otis promised Speedo songwriting credit, but oops, forgot to deliver. What if Speedo had sued? We'd have Respect, the Lawsuit remix. But nah, Speedo let it slide, probably because he didn't write the damn thing either. Trivia bomb. The song's roots might trace back even further to some obscure blues riff, but Otis owned it like he invented begging. Fast forward to 1967, and enter Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul herself, fresh off signing with Atlantic Records after a string of meh releases on Columbia. She's in the studio with producer Jerry Wexler, who's basically the wizard behind the curtain for soul hits. Wexler plays her Otis's version, and Aretha's like, "Hold my piano." She flips the script, literally. With her sisters Carolyn and Irma on backup, they rework the lyrics to turn it from a guy's grovel into a woman's war cry. That opening line stays, but now it's Aretha asserting, "I've got what you want, baby, so you better give me my due." It's empowerment on steroids. And that iconic bridge? R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. Pure genius from Carolyn, spelling it out like she's teaching manners to a toddler. Then there's sock it to me, not some naughty innuendo, folks, despite what your dirty mind thinks. Aretha insisted it was just neighborhood slang for give it to me straight, like kids yelling it on the street. Non-sexual, she swore, but let's be real, in that voice it could make a nun blush. And take care, TCB? That's taking care of business, 60s lingo for handling your shit, especially in the bedroom or boardroom. Oh, and those ad-libs. A sneaky nod to Aretha's nickname, sneaky self-roast. If I tried spelling out respect in a song, it'd come out as R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. Oh wait, I misspelled it. Story of my life. They record it on Valentine's Day, 1967 at Atlantic Studios in New York. Imagine the vibe. Aretha at the piano, directing the band like a boss, adding that stop and stutter syncopation that makes your hips twitch involuntarily. The sax solo in the bridge, borrowed from King Curtis's riff on Sam and Amp, Dave's When Something Is Wrong With My Baby, recorded the night before. Talk about recycling hits. Engineer Tom Dowd later said everyone in the room knew it was magic after just a couple takes. They stood up and applauded like they'd witnessed the second coming. But here's a what-if for you. What if Aretha had stuck to Otis's version? We'd have a polite plea instead of a feminist fireball. Instead, she deconstructs and rebuilds it, infusing gospel fervor from her church roots. Her dad was a preacher, after all. She grew up singing hymns that could raise the dead. This session? It's chaos meets perfection, with Aretha demanding respect not just in lyrics, but in the studio too. Pun alert, she didn't just cover the song, she respectacularly owned it. Now onto the album and release Shenanigans, because nothing in soul music happens without a bit of drama. Respect lands on Aretha's breakthrough album, I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You, dropped in March 1967. But oh boy, the road to release was bumpier than a gravel driveway. Aretha's hubby at the time, Ted White, gets into a fistfight with the Muscle Shoals studio owner during early sessions down in Alabama. Yeah, the famous white boys at Fame Studios, those swampers who backed legends like Wilson Pickett, nearly derailed the whole thing. They flee to New York, finish up, and boom, the single hits in April. It rockets to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 by June, staying there for 2 weeks, and tops the R&Amp B chart for 8. Sales? Over 1 million copies, gold status. But the shenanigans don't stop. Otis hears it and jokes at Monterey Pop Festival that this girl stole my song. He even starts adding Aretha's spelling bit to his live versions. Talk about respectful theft. No lawsuits though. Otis was cool with it, admitting it was hers now. Trivia tidbit. The album's title track was recorded amid that Alabama drama, with Aretha pounding the piano like it owed her money. What if Ted hadn't thrown punches? Maybe the whole album stays Southern fried, but instead we get this hybrid beast that's pure fire. Satirical swipe. In today's world it'd be a Twitter beef ending in collabs and merch, but back then, just good old-fashioned fisticuffs. As Respect climbs to mythic status, the Controversies brew like a storm in a teacup, mostly because it steps on toes without apology. No big legal battles, but culturally, it's a lightning rod. Otis's version was a man's demand. Aretha's flips it to a woman's ultimatum, right as feminism and civil rights are boiling over. Suddenly, it's the anthem for black power and women's lib. All I'm asking is for a little respect. Simple, but in 1967, amid riots in Detroit, Aretha's hometown, and MLK marching, it hits like a brick. She toured with King, you know. Her voice was activism amplified. But here's the ripple. It overshadows Otis so completely that most folks think Aretha wrote it. Poor guy dies in a plane crash later that year, and Respect becomes her crown jewel. Culture-wise, it sparks debates. Is Sock It To Me sexy or sassy? Aretha says sassy, but Jerry Wexler quipped it demanded sexual attention of the highest order. What if Otis had lived? Maybe a duet where they argue over respect like a soulful rap battle. Absurd scenario. Imagine Respect as a diss track in today's hip-hop, Aretha dropping bars on patriarchal BS. And the puns keep coming. This song didn't just demand respect, it commanded RESPECT and got it, no questions asked. The legacy and lasting weirdness. Oh, where do I start? Respect gets inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in '87, the National Recording Registry in 2002, and Rolling Stone crowns it the greatest song ever in 2021. It's in movies like The Blues Brothers, where Aretha reprises it as a diner diva, flipping burgers and attitudes. Covers? Everyone from the Supremes and Temptations duetting it on TV to Adele belting it out. But the weirdness, it becomes a catch-all anthem, from anti-war protests to modern #MeToo marches. Trivia, Spooner Oldham, the keyboardist, said the session was so electric folks stood and cheered mid-take. Ripple effects? It empowers generations. Women quote it in boardrooms, kids spell it in schools. What if Aretha never flipped the gender? We'd have one less reason for bad karaoke, but culture loses a powerhouse. Self-roasting aside, if I tried covering it, it'd be R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me, probably rejection. Satirical jab. In a world of auto-tuned pop, respect reminds us real soul comes from the gut, not garage band. We've spelled our way through the chaos, folks. If this tale of soulful theft, studio brawls, and cultural earthquakes made you chuckle, nod, or even demand a little respect yourself, smash that like button, subscribe for more musical mayhem, and share it with someone who needs a reminder. Because in the end, respect isn't just a song, it's a revolution with a killer hook. And remember, as Aretha taught us, give it or get gone. Peace out. Sock it to you.